Hello, I'm Steve Duffy. I'm running for my fourth term on the Boone County Board of Supervisors. Currently, I'm chair of that board. I'll be running again for my fourth term. And I am doing that because I think I can make a difference, and I think I really have. And I'm served with a great crew, my other colleagues. And I know they'll be there at least 2 years or more, so I like working with them, and I think together we really have made some good inroads and things. I was born in Boone, Iowa, born and raised. I graduated from Iowa State University in industrial administration. I won't mention Panthers beat us a couple of times there. Greg went to UNI. Okay. Well, anyway, I currently run Duffy's Appliances. I have for like over 50 years. A very successful business in a very competitive atmosphere, which we've, I guess, thrived and survived in, which many haven't, unfortunately. I served as an officer in the Army National Guard, 30 years on the Boone County Conservation Board, 27 years as on the chain gang at the Boone High Friday night football games. I've been in many, many boards over the years. I mentioned conservation. The boards I'm currently on, that I serve on, are the Board of Health, Boone County Board of Health, the Central Isle Expo Board, the Second Judicial Branch of the Second District, Boone County Communications, and but they call it Boone Dallas DCAT, which has to do with social services. And I have enjoyed many of those. You learn a lot you learn probably as much about being a supervisor going to those meetings as you do being a supervisor, because you meet a lot of other supervisors who have, believe it or not, same issues you do. So it's really worthwhile. But I enjoy doing these, and I certainly look forward to serving you again for 4 more years. I said my motto was, I'll be in the boardroom representing you, so you don't have to be. Well, I think the vision of what's going to happen, part of it's pretty obvious. I think there's going to be a lot of growth between Boone and Ames. Probably the other areas, I think a lot of it's going to be around peripheral areas of the various cities. Like Boone, you know, we tend to kind of circle Boone, it seems like, for the Boone projects, like plumbing and heating, places like that are growing, which is good. I think that probably the Boone Ames thing is probably going to be the biggest because of the transportation center as it is. I think that probably a bigger detriment, while you're seeing, like in Boone County, they're just doing a big housing development, as well as we've got some pretty good size building going on commercially, is around the surrounding areas. Part of it is just the infrastructure needed to do that, and that's primarily like your water, you know, roads, that kind of thing, which are critical to reaching out. It's very difficult to develop something, say 10 miles out of town, because we don't have the infrastructure of the water is a big thing, which insurance companies frown on that. They don't want to build out there. If they do, it costs a fortune for insurance. So I think probably if we want real, what I call rural areas to develop, we need to really work on some higher volume water systems that will support that. I think like we've seen in Boone, Boone's got a major housing development going just on the north edge of town, and they have another one going on the southwest corner of town, which I give them credit. They've done a lot of work on that. That's going to be a big deal. Up there again, I think they're sticking closer to the community just for the infrastructure is the biggest thing. And the land availability, like, you know, the area in the north and the south, we're in the city limits. And you know, they annexed that into the city, which, I'm sorry, it was in the county, now it's in the city, but they annexed that in, which I think really in the long run is a good deal. I mean, it's good for us, good for them. So that would be probably the vision of like where things are going to be. As far as what we can do about it is help the other people that are doing this as best we can, and also to try to, not only, everybody's always looking for that great ship to float across Interstate 35, but what your best bet is to get people that are already there to expand, because they're there, they know what they're running into. So that would be my answer to that. Well, I think probably if somebody came in, if somebody wanted to build something, of course we could use, tax abatements would be a logical one. Boone's used the TIF, for a long time for various reasons. That would be number one. The other thing would be to be a facilitator. Maybe if it needs to be a road put in or something that's maybe in the county, we could do a TIF or something like that, which the city's done well too on that. But just kind of be there and help wherever we can, I think would be a pretty good answer. We were kind of looking at that earlier on with some of the art money, but it looks like we're not in too bad a shape. I mean, all of Boone County, because when Ogden Telephone opened, that really helped a lot. And then you got Stratford's coming down, and supposedly coming down into the Fraser northern part of the county, and then I believe it's Huxley Phone is going to Madrid. Is that right? Yeah. So it's pretty well. I mean, there's always open spots, but some areas are doing hot spots, which works for them too. So again, wherever we can help facilitate it or help in some way, that would be. Okay, that's an area that really needs help. I mean, because the government recently was doing some funding to young people, and both in tax credits and actual monthly payments. I think though that if you I really don't know that a tax credit or something makes more sense to me, because I do think that if you have the kids, enough kids, they will come. And it's I call it a worthwhile effort financially, where somebody might construct a building of some kind or whatever to meet those needs. And of course, that would be, to me anyway, would certainly be again a tax abatement thing. Because the people have to understand a tax abatement is not a bad deal, because it's like a middle of a farm field that you get very little out of an acre of ground. But it's kind of like a TIF. The differential is between what it was worth when they got the land and what it's worth now can be very large. And that's the biggest thing with it is don't abuse it. When you get that done, move on. But it's really, you're not really losing any money long term. You're gaining money you probably wouldn't have had. So that's how I feel about that. Well, I think one thing to have is the environment that's there, and I think taxes are a big deal. I think when somebody comes to a community, you probably don't even know they were there. They just check out the basics, and that's the hard part about what you guys do. Who was that? But I think to have a favorable tax helps, because bigger companies especially comes in. I mean, that could be a property tax could be a big issue for them. And not like Boone County itself, just Boone County is an entity, not with the schools or anything else. Like in the rural area right now, we're like the 6th lowest in the state. And that's favorable. In town, like in Boone, Ogden, Madrid, we're the 3rd lowest in the state. So that's something that we've worked hard to get to, but I think it's something that's an immediate sales point to somebody coming in. And I believe we do provide, I know the city do provide we got a hospital, they provide those emergency services and that kind of thing too. So that would be probably it. Another item would be just, again, to try to get people to expand or to come in. And if it's in the county, we can certainly work with them and see if we can't come up with something that really helps them. So, and the third thing probably is just keep your eyes open and see what's going on, because there's companies that would fool you, like you wouldn't dream, like I never dreamed that Kruk could go out here and build that big thing, so that's and that was partly attraction of taxes. I mean, part of it wasn't all. I know they had other issues there, but it's just things that you just got to keep. It's not one thing, it's a lot of things. And it's just an ongoing process because there's a lot of competition out there. So.